Chapter 12. Sequence of chronology starting at the fifth seal. Rev 13, 8, 11, 9, and 15 are all part of one event. The seven trumpets are the testimony of the two witnesses at Revelation 11 in the Revelation 13 environment. At the end of their ministry is Rev 9, 11, and 15 they are killed, and the eighth head takes over the beast from the sea and the earth that were bested by the two witnesses. Notice how Revelation 11 talks about the two witnesses able to turn water into blood, and look at the first two trumpets with similar plagues in Revelation 8. It says in Revelation 11 that they can do any kind of plague they want. So the first is fire mixed with blood and hail. The second is turning the water into blood. So the trumpets blown in heaven in Revelation 8 sync with the ministry of the two witnesses in Revelation 11. 10. They are also seven kings. 5 have fallen, one is, the other has not yet come, but when he does come, he must remain for only a little while. 11. The beast who once was, and now is not, is an eighth king. He belongs to the seven and is going to his destruction. The seventh king is the Antichrist emperor in Jerusalem. After the fifth seal to the fifth trumpet is the two witnesses' ministry. The fifth and sixth trumpet is the rise of the eighth king Azazel and the angels. The three horns of the 10 that are replaced by the one then in future context is the beast from the earth with two horns. The king of Revelation 17:10, or the white horse rider of the first seal. He is what the beast from the earth honors with its two horns, who replace the leaders of Western and Eastern churches. The kings hate the whore and burn her with fire. That's the onset of the Antichrist's kingdom in Revelation 6 and 13. Besides the main seventh head, the six heads represent states serving the federal head. Each state has one horn a king, with one crown as the master of that domain. These kings are part of the multi-tiered kingdom under the Nicolaitan Gnostic/Druze Antichrist, representing as minor kings abroad the cultures of Rome, Greece, Persia, Babylon, Assyria, and Egypt, rather than the red dragon whose heads and horns represent the past empires that came one after another. The beast from the sea is all at once with six heads and rulers representing those previous kingdoms, and the seventh has four horns, the leaders of the east and west apostatized church running the religious aspects of the empire that weaves in and out of each state, as well as the federal state overseeing them. Like a pope and the Eastern Patriarch proclaiming the Antichrist as God, and with every other religion meshed into one secularized world fascist dystopian apocalypse. These three with the court treasurer or admin make up the four horns and crowns of the seventh head. They all make one jurisdiction under the Antichrist ruling in Jerusalem until the little horn or the beast from the earth rises and rules the conquered peoples, triaging them with the AI statue that speaks, the mystery Babylonian Marduk statue. The Holy Roman Empire, or when the church took over, is an example of the clay and iron in the toes of the statue of Daniel. It's the beginning of the seventh empire. Clay means believers and iron symbolizes Roman or pagan and pantheist non-believers. The iron symbolizes the Gnostics, mystery Babylon Nicolaitan religious hedonists, or the secular Romans, Hellenized Jews, and Babylonians. All these empires or heads put the faith or religion in subjection Egypt and Assyria, and then the rest in Daniel's vision Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome, and the seventh one that comes for a little while at the first seal, which is the feet of the statue in Daniel. So we are in the age of the clay and iron, but the sixth head of the red dragon. And the seventh head, or the beast from the sea and earth, comes up out of the sea at Revelation 13, which is described in Revelation 6 as the first to fifth seal. The difference between the Holy Roman Empire and the fulfillment of it is the revelation of the inner Janus Babylonian religion, which was mortally wounded by the doctrine of Christianity. Over time, it has been overtaken by Gnosticism, until they build a temple in Jerusalem and put a leader there, where Revelation 11 takes place, by the temple where Jesus was crucified. The occult has infiltrated Catholicism and the secular world, as well as all religions, Islam included, so the true identity of the two sides Janus Church will be a synchronized religion. It will look different than Islam, the Sunnah says about the character of the Jal. And it will look different than Christianity in any form, or Judaism for that matter. And many of the other faiths will resist it too, for these reasons. And that is their salvation at that time when it all occurs at the first seal. The terms of salvation are different when that occurs, because all anyone needs to do is not take the mark no matter what religion. They just need to resist at that point. And then the story of the second advent. Key concepts. The method of salvation changes from the onset of the first seal to extend to all who don't take the mark, until the second advent. This is how the nations rebel and are destroyed in Rev 20:7. It's also how Isaiah 65 verse 20 happen at Revelation 15. The real story of the false understanding of the rapture theories today. Only in a millennial kingdom could Isaiah 65:20 be accomplished, which looks back to the Atlantean days when people lived as long as Noah and Methuselah but still died. After the millennial reign, which never ends on earth, the martyrs with Christ who are ruling as first fruits of the resurrection in restored bodies like angels, unlike those who were not martyred and living as long as the patriarchs in the millennium join them. Abraham's bosom in the story of Lazarus is heaven. At the second advent or the millennium, the martyrs come with Jesus, and the second death has no power over them. The first resurrection 20:4 and 5. The rest of heaven are the non-martyrs. Nobody dies a martyr when Christ is ruling, and people live so old like the patriarchs, except the very end before judgment. So from the second advent to the judgment, people live long lives and go to heaven. The martyrs of heaven are not there, they are on earth, resurrected with Jesus resurrected as their head, as the prince of the temple, like angels on earth. After the final rebellion, heaven comes to earth, and everyone is judged into physical bodies. It's the time when the physical and the spiritual are united again, like in Eden. The martyrs and Jesus might be physically resurrected at the second advent, with flesh and spirit united. And then the rest living a long life, like Noah starting at the seventh trumpet, Revelation 11:15 and Isaiah 65:20. These immortal bodies join those in immortal bodies after the rebellion, when heaven comes down and judgment day occurs. The statue that speaks or the image kills those who don't bow to the beast, because he's claiming divinity. It's like an AI Star Wars program that kills everyone who breaks the law. It's part of a law, more or less. It's the same mechanism that defends the two witnesses as fire proceeds from the words they say. Because the AI system is set up according to the Babylonian system, where the emperor is reincarnated by someone in the kingdom. So it's a tribunal of divinity. Most people are killed until the two witnesses come and are able to articulate how the divinity is in them and not in the Antichrist. The tribunal is a question of philosophy, theology, history, all those that make a leader, kind of. And most people are martyred cause they are not educated enough. But that's okay, they are rewarded. The two witnesses beat the system, in other words, with help from heaven, and start a prisoner revolution that overthrows the system until one of the fallen angels from the fifth and sixth trumpets kills them. The fifth and sixth trumpet. Then after they are killed in Revelation 9:11, a hole is opened when they are raised up, the ark is seen, and then the cloud of testimony descends on the temple as Revelation 15, and that's the mid-tribulation rapture. At the final trumpet, as 1 Cor 15:52 says, the seventh in Rev 11. Rev 11 seventh trumpet. 19 Then God's temple in heaven was opened, and within his temple was seen the ark of his covenant. And there came flashes of lightning, rumblings, peals of thunder, an earthquake, and a severe hailstorm. This is when the two witnesses are raised and the temple in heaven is seen, and there is a change to Isaiah 65:20. This is explained as Rev 7:14 and 14:1-6. The 14th chapter ends with the story after the last vial, which is after the seventh vial, when Revelation 19 follows, which happens after the following, followed by Revelation 15 verse 5. After this I looked, and I saw in heaven the temple, that is, the tabernacle of the covenant law, and it was opened. 6 out of the temple came the 7 angels with the 7 plagues. They were dressed in clean, shining linen and wore golden sashes around their chests. 7 Then one of the 4 living creatures gave to the 7 angels 7 golden bowls filled with the wrath of God, who lives forever and ever. 8 And the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God and from his power, and no one could enter the temple until the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were completed. The two witnesses in Revelation are said to be able to mix fire and water, and that's in the first two trumpets. That's enough to prove divinity as well to the system. And the people with the mark hate them and are surprised when, after wormwood crashes into the waters, there is a twilight that emerges when the angel of death arises, kills them. Revelation 11 describes two witnesses' abilities. They have power to shut up the heavens so that it will not rain during the time they are prophesying, and they have power to turn the waters into blood and to strike the earth with every kind of plague as often as they want. First trumpet is blood and hail and fire raining. Two trumpet, 1/3 of the sea turned to blood. Third trumpet is a wormwood making the waters bitter, which might be a hidden element from space asteroid opening a portal for. Fourth trumpet, a darkness to emerge and change the moon's cycle, the constellations, and the cycle, the sun, putting us basically into another dimension or into punctuated equilibrium evolution, possibly because of the wormwood element that mixes with H20 and has a chain reaction all over the universe if it was buried in an asteroid since the flood. Since the flood, because at the fifth and sixth trumpet the fallen angels are released, and to the surprise of everyone with the mark on them, kills the two witnesses. These are the angels from the Atlantean days when people lived longer, like 600 to 900 years, before the springs of the earth burst, and the planet was different as in Genesis. A case of punctuated equilibrium evolution, and perhaps the travel of our solar system into an event horizon, and out a mini Big Bang, black and white hole, like after Eden and after the flood. And again at this point at the second advent, and again at the restoration of Eden at the final judgment. Below is a sample of my future work commentary on the apocalypse. If you see all the Bible verses and read them in order, it's the chronological order of the book of Revelation. I still need to add in Rev 10 and the small scroll Enoch 8 to 10 into it and put notes on Enoch so that the 5 angels of Rev 9 are shown, with Revelation 17. But you don't need Enoch, they can just be nameless angels, the 8th head of the 7-headed beast. Besides that addition in these posts, also the punctuated equilibrium evolutionary theory and event horizon mini Big Bang wormhole theory sync to the idealist creationism theory, where they say the earth was created to look old, plus the NDE and description of Nephilim dinosaurs and where the races of humanity come from, and also Enoch 7 and 19 to describe the nature of fallen angels and Nephilim. And open it up with the Trinity theory I have, explaining the nature of us demons, angels, and nature of Jesus, plus the ethnos I changed to future tribes that can be translated as animals is new created species outside of New Jerusalem. A short description of New Jerusalem and Eden, and how the earth that was created and dry land can apply to the entire created universe. The 3 heavens Eden, the one now, and the one when New Jerusalem comes. In the context, it seems the human race is ended after Judgment Day. If the human race is finished and 1.5 quadrillion can fit in New Jerusalem according to an article on internet. If you take 0.5 quadrillion, 1 and 15 zeros 5 commas, it still works because there's only been about 108 billion humans ever born. If less than half go to heaven, then there's a lot of space. And maybe the end isn't for another 10,000 years or so if full occupancy has to be reached. It's something to consider anyway. Taking the apocalypse literal crosses into the sci-fi genre. If we use the max occupancy of New Jerusalem to predict the end of this age, we have to factor in the 1,000 years at the second advent. But like I said, all the humans ever born is only 108 billion. That's like not even 1% occupancy of the 1,500 miles cubed city that's layered, so everyone gets a 2,000 square foot mansion. That's like a little over millionth of percent max occupancy where we are now. And the humans born 108 billion are not all going to heaven. It seems like we have 1 million years to go at least. Or if there isn't a floor every 12 feet, then we have 120 to 1,200 feet of floor or a hill or mountain inside. Then it goes down to about 10K more years left. And then triple that to 30K because only about 30 to 40% get to heaven of total population, the rest in hell. There are other factors to take into consideration besides the max occupancy of New Jerusalem. But that's taking it all literally. Even if they set an empire up to make the end of the world happen, It's in God's time, and he has to react with the trumpets and the angels and the raising from the dead. The seals, the world conquest, war, famine, and death by persecution, are easy or possible to set up for an empire these days. 1/4 of the earth is under war, famine, plague, and death. That's a little more than all of North America continent, with Greenland and Canada and Alaska and Europe. That covers all the major cities in the world at least. Especially if every and all the population is forced into those borders of dominion from those city centers. Imagine if Hitler was alive or won and the new empire had the Gestapo placed in city centers all over the earth to cover the span of that area, with the intention of ruling every human being or killing them. https://www.neverthirsty.org/bible-qa/q/how-can-the-new-Jerusalem. But probably the age will end sooner and there will be a lot of space. In the whole land, declares the Lord, 2/3 will be struck down and perish, yet 1/3 will be left in it. This third I will put into the fire. I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name and I will answer them. I will say, they are my people, and they will say, the Lord is our God. The seventh angel poured out his bowl into the air, and out of the temple came a loud voice from the throne, saying, "It is done." Then there came flashes of lightning, rumblings, peals of thunder, and a severe earthquake. No earthquake like it has ever occurred since mankind has been on earth, so tremendous was the quake. The great city split into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations collapsed. God remembered Babylon the Great, and gave her the cup filled with the wine of the fury of his wrath. Every island fled away, and the mountains could not be found. From the sky huge hailstones, each weighing about 100 pounds, fell on people. And they cursed God on account of the plague of hail, because the plague was so terrible. I still need to fit in a couple of chapters from Ezekiel 38-37 and some from 40 to 44. A couple in Jeremiah and Daniel, as well as others in Isaiah, and a few more minor prophets, as well as Enoch, but it slows down the narrative of Revelation and makes it long. Revelation 12, Revelation 6 verses 1 to 8, Revelation 17:9 and 12-14, Revelation 13, Revelation 17:1-7, 15-18, Revelation 6 verses 9 to 11, Revelation 7 verses 9 to 17, Revelation 11 verses 1 to 6, Revelation 6 verses 12 to 15, Revelation 18 verses 1 to 20, Revelation 8, Revelation 14 verses 6 to 13, Revelation 7 verses 1 to 8, Revelation 10, Revelation 11 verses 7 to 10, Revelation 17:8 and 11, Revelation 9, Revelation 11 verses 11 to 19, 1 Cor 15:51-52, Revelation 14 verses 1 to 5, Revelation 15, Revelation 16 verses 1 to 16, Zechariah 13 verses 8 to 9, Revelation 16 verses 17 to 21, Revelation 18 verses 21 to 24, Zechariah 12, Revelation 14 verses 14 to 20, Revelation 19, Revelation 20 verses 1 to 3, 1 Thess 4:15, 1 Corinthians 15 verses 51 to 52 is 65:20, Revelation 20 verses 4 to 6, Revelation 7 verses 13 to 17, Zechariah 13 verses 1 to 6, Revelation 20 verses 7 to 10, Zechariah 14 verses 1 to 5, 14:12-15, Revelation 20 verses 11 to 15, Zechariah 14 verses 16 to 20, Revelation 21 verses 1 to 8, Zechariah 14 verses 6 to 11, Revelation 21:9-22:21.